Hey, what's up? You guys are on Compton Our Walk TV. Today we're interviewing Milaniaa Monroe.
Hi, everybody.
Text mix, I got a family to feed on my checklist. I wake up and smell the hustle, that's for breakfast. Right until my hand hurt, gas and balls until I'm breathless. Meek and humble, just to
Alright, so let me start off by saying like we're super big fans of you.
Thank you.
And listening to your music, like what I noticed that's different is like the emphasis on your lyrics. Like, how long have you been rapping exactly?
I started writing when I was 7.
Okay.
So my mom, like the first and only video I've ever seen of me like as a kid in the studio was when I was like in 2nd grade.
Like, who were some of your influences?
Lauryn Hill, Tupac, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown. I have so many. I even have younger influences like Tink. Like Tink is an influence. You know, I feel like she's a really, really good artist. Just doesn't have the credit that she deserves.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like some of my biggest influences. Will have to be like Lauryn Hill and Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can tell. Let me ask you this though, like your style of rap, like how would you describe that?
I would describe it Milaniaa. Like, typically, I kind of like when people say that I'm a conscious artist.
Okay.
You know, I don't like to be considered, I wouldn't like to be considered anything other than that. You know, we all need like ratchet music, we all need turn up music, but it's always been deeper than just the music for me. So being considered a conscious artist is a compliment. That's how I would describe my style.
Yeah, honestly, I can see you making any type of record.
Yeah.
But like, your delivery is like super unique. Honestly, what first jumped out to me is that you kind of have like a maturity on the mic. So I can tell that you've kind of been doing this for a while and you take your lyrics serious.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite lyricist out right now?
Ooh, right now, that J.Cole.
J.Cole?
And Kendrick Lamar. I can't have one without the other. So.
Hey, so tell me a little bit about your name. Like, what does that mean exactly?
Well, my name is Milaniaa Monroe, and this is the name my mom gave me.
Oh, all right.
So, with that being said, I don't think she put a lot of thought into it, but she was just like, you're beautiful, you're powerful. You know, that's always been like 2 things that she's told me, you're beautiful, you're powerful. And so I think that has a lot to do with probably the reason she chose the name. I love the way that it sounds, so I was like, maybe that's what it was.
Man, that name sounds like a star. Like I didn't know that was your birth given name.
Yes, that is actually me. My siblings all of our last name is Monroe.
Okay.
So we all have different names. None of them go together.
All right, cool. So Compton is like super legendary. We got so many artists, legendary artists out of this small city.
Right.
Too many to name. Like, who is your favorite Compton artist of all time?
I had to take it all the way back to just NWA, like the whole everything that came with it. And I say that because I'm like, people ask me like, oh, where are you from? And I always like, I'm mixed because I have South Central and Compton. I went to like Crenshaw High School, so to have somebody like Ice Cube be a part of that, and then me having lived here and grew up here, you know, it's like that, the culture crossing.
You got the best of both
worlds.
Both worlds, Central,
yeah.
Compton.
So yeah.
So that being said, like, it's just crazy that just when you think the Compton wave might slow down, I mean, it started with NWA, then it went to like DJ Quick,
right? Yeah.
Countless other artists. Now you got Kendrick, you got Roddy out right now, who's taking it over.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah. I've been seeing him a lot on Twitter.
He's on fire right now. So it's kind of like I'm wondering who's gonna be next. I really feel like you have a shot to take the torch, especially for female MCs in the game. Female empowerment is like a huge wave right now, as it should always be.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit about that, like in your music, like how that reflects in your music, female empowerment?
Yes. Well, I come from a lot of like brokenness, you know, like home-wise. So with that being said, it's like, yeah, no, I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I've seen a lot, I witnessed a lot, experienced a lot of things, and like being able to write about that and being a female who's not really afraid to show my scars, even though it can be scary. Like, I'm not just gonna say like, oh yeah, I'm just completely fearless. Like, with being open, it's a scary thing to like put what you've been through on wax. So to be a female to do that and already have just being a girl in general working against you, and then it's like, oh, you've been through this, and that. You have so many people who are going to take that so many different ways, and you have to have thick skin. So like literally, I kind of live in one of those like, I really can't give a fuck mentalities. because if you do, you'll let what other people say or their perspectives, all of these things get to you. So that's being a female as far as trying to empower other people, being able to get on the mic and say whatever I want to say and talking about the things I've been through is empowering.
Man, well, I can't look forward to hearing that in your lyrics, which you're a master at.
Thank you.
What projects do you have next?
So I'm working on another EP. I was going to do an album, but because I'm an independent artist and I don't have like the proper funding and the label backing and everything, I figured, okay, I'll do another EP, but the way that I'm going to go about it is going to be totally different than I did my first one. So I don't have a release date on it because I just want it to be something that I literally, when it's time to drop it, you'll probably know maybe like 2 weeks in advance that it's coming out.
Like, who are some of the producers you work with or anyone you collaborate with? Give them a shout out.
Okay, so shout out to Wazir. He's from Houston. He's a Houston producer and he's also a rapper himself. And then I have Dre Styles. He's from LA.
All right.
And then I had DJ West recently send me some beats, and he's pretty booming right now. So I really appreciate that. He did some things on Nicki Minaj's Queen album. And then I have some other producers that have reached out to me, and hopefully I'm able to collaborate with some of the people I've shook hands with from 1500 or Nothing as well. So I'm pretty much open to working with great music. If it's great music, then we can make it work.
Okay. We look forward to that. Let's
Thank
do this. Like,
okay.
what's your favorite album of all time?
Ooh. The Miseducation.
Yeah, I don't think that album can ever be topped. I
No.
think that's one of my top 3 albums too.
Yeah.
I wish you would make more music. I mean, maybe someday you guys will collaborate.
Yes,
we'll
I
be here to look out for
know.
that.
Like
So,
Lauryn Hill.
You've
Get
been
it, girl.
you've been referencing Lauryn Hill a lot. Like, is that the album that made you kind of fall in love with hip hop?
It has a lot to do with it. But it's crazy because even though she's like at the top of my list, I was heavily influenced by like Lil' Kim.
Okay.
Because when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember like the music videos being on all the time, and like Lil' Kim was like hot shit at the time, like just always in the eye. So as far as like what I was hearing all the time, it was her. And then my aunt, my mom, like they always listened to like the Miseducation. So listening to it as a kid, you hear it and it's like, oh my god. But then when you get older, you start to actually become one with what you're listening to, and you're having a better understanding of the lyrics. Then it makes you fall in love with it in a different way.
Got it.
So
All right. Yeah, I definitely see like a lot of Lil' Kim, Foxy.
yeah.
It would be dope if they could get together and finally do a project after all these years.
After all these years.
That's kind of what I like. The new generation catches a lot of flack for their style and what they're bringing to hip hop, but I like the fact that they all collaborate now.
Right.
Like back in the day, it would have been cool to see Pac and Biggie or Nas and Jay.
Right.
Like we'll never see that. But
Right.
with the new generation, it's something new coming out like all the time.
Right.
So who's like an artist, like a newer artist that you're feeling that's brand new in the game?
Singer or hip hop?
It could be both.
A newer artist that I'm really, really liking is Ari Lennox, and she's a singer. She's from Dreamville.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of her. She's
Yes,
dope.
she's
dope.
really, really dope. And then, I mean, there's a few. Like, there's Kaz. He's also signed to Dreamville. We have Tink. I don't know. There's just so many new artists. It's so many new artists. It's like kind of hard to keep up. But I think like Tink is a new artist, but she's also been out for a while.
Yeah.
At the same time,
She's underrated.
she's
super
very underrated. Like even just her writing skills, and I think because she's a storyteller, that's probably why she's underrated. I don't feel like this generation connects with a lot of like truth.
Right. And that's something that you can bring to the game. It's like much needed, especially in the city. Compton is like heavy in the music
Right.
industry, a legendary city. There's so many artists that I can't even name. Who's your favorite Compton artist of all time?
Oh, we're gonna have to take it all the way back to like NWA. Just like
All
that whole movement was something that you can't, like, that's unmatched.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's unmatched. Not saying that there aren't great artists out now, but just that wave of like putting on for Compton, and you have somebody like Dr. Dre being as influential as he is, coming from somewhere like where we come from, and then being like the owner of like Dre Beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's really, really crazy.
Yeah. If you could work with any artist, like dead or alive, like right now, who would you choose?
I would have to pick one.
Okay, we could do 2.
Okay. If I could work with any artist right now, Ooh, this is so hard. Like, dead would have to be Pop. Alive is, man, that's really bad. This is bad.
All right, you can name two or three.
Okay, so
whoever
like
whoever
Lord
comes to mind.
Hill, J.Cole, Chris Brown.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, it's funny because I think Chris Brown doesn't get a lot of credit, like on the hip hop tip.
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
he's sick. He's
Right,
super
yeah,
dope.
I don't know, he's so versatile, like he can really do any record.
All right.
Yeah.
So have you had any performances lately, or?
Yes, I just did a performance for a foot action event, and it was put on by my guy Mars. I actually auditioned for Maya, the singer.
Okay.
The guy, my guy Mars, and some other people that were from 1500 or nothing. Forgive me, cause I'm not good with names.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, they put this event on, and they had like 10 female artists. I think they said that they auditioned over 80 people, and then they picked 10, and then we did a showcase. I lost. Well, I didn't really lose. I just didn't get picked.
All right.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
like my latest performance.
How do you feel about performing? Do you have a lot of performances under your belt? Do you have any more performances in the future?
I have more performances coming up. I look
Okay.
forward to performing for Unplugged LA actually, and I'm actually waiting on just a confirmation for that. They do
Okay.
it every Tuesday, I believe. So yeah,
All right.
performances is like that's what I'm getting more under my belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like an important part.
Very.
It's real interesting seeing like a lyricist command the crowd.
Right.
So we look forward to checking out your next event. You definitely have to keep us posted.
I will.
Fuji with some dookie braids in a crop top.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Milaniaa, and we're here on Compton Art Walk TV. You can follow Compton Art Walk on Facebook and Instagram for any updates.